everybody. Welcome to yet another Star Trek podcast where everybody is stressed out and overworked and overtired. My name is Drew. I'll be your host for the day. I am joined by the very stressed out Bradford. Brad, what's up, man?
Oh God, I want to dig a hole and just bury myself.
I'll help you.
Well, I mean, as long as you're with me.
Can I have your Steam Deck when I bury you, or are you going to be buried with your Steam Deck?
You can have it. I'll give it to you.
I mean, honestly, it wasn't.
You deserve it.
I was gonna take it from you.
Oh,
so.
I feel like you're gonna try and kill me now, and then just take it anyways.
Just to make it formal, that's Majeed over there.
Legally, hang on. Legally,
Majeed?
No, I'm saying legally. You can't say.
Hold on. We have
Brad for the evening.
We have legally Majeed.
This is great. Yeah, I'm Brad for the evening, folks. Drew, what is yours then?
I don't know. It'll have to come organically, though.
Well, organically, Drew. Boom! Moving right along. Podcast done. Good night, everyone. See you next week.
GD, how you doing, man?
So it's 5:00 in the afternoon. I skipped lunch today. I had a call that just ran really long, and I don't want to say I'm running on fumes, but I think I'm still pretty pumped from whatever pre-workout I took and put in my body. I'm still pretty pumped, and I'm also excited. These things excite me, so forgive me. I got this big tub of protein powder, like whey isolate protein powder. I am so pumped. Because this is how people pay me now, according to Drew.
It's true, and it seems like the perfect form of payment.
We were literally just talking about that. Like
right.
that's your cheap date. What can I say?
It's funny. I was picturing myself opening the tub of protein powder and testing it like it was a drug deal. Is it pure? Is it good? You stick the knife into the bottle and you put on the knife and you snort some.
Do you have like a little mini shaker that you use instead of snorting it? You just put it in a little mini bottle. You take a shot of it.
No,
see if it's good enough.
I am scared though that the dog may somehow get into the protein powder and he's gonna get jacked.
Oh no!
Yeah, he got into my fiber my Fiber One snacks while we were on vacation in South Carolina. That was bad because he ate all my snacks. That's one, and he had the poops a little bit.
I'm sure that did not smell well when coming out.
Brad, I don't smell his poop, buddy.
What? How can you not though?
Because I'm not a sicko.
No, you don't stick your face in his poop. It's in the room.
No, what? No, you don't.
Your dog never taken a crap in the middle of the room.
Wait, I get it.
I thought you meant he had like the poops like in the house. But regardless, like I've had dogs, when I was growing up, and you walk them and they poop, and you smell it even if it's outside. Like you're not like sticking your face in it. It's like, oh my god, that stuff smells so bad.
I mean, like any good dog owner, you should be picking that crap up and throwing it away, right?
Yeah, but you're not gonna smell it, Brad. Like you're not gonna smell how pure it is.
It's like by proxy. You're in the vicinity of the poop. Of course, you're gonna smell the poop. It's not like you want to.
Even after you wrap it up in a bag, I can assure you that stuff stinks.
Do you still have COVID smell?
What is happening right now? Do you guys smell your own poop when you is it the next part of the conversation?
Not because I want to, but the odor is present in the vicinity of me.
I feel like the COVID like just kind of messed with his nose, and now he can't smell anymore.
I know what poop smells like. I'm not going to go around actively smelling poop, Brad. I'm dumbfounded by the accusation and the audacity.
Do you stop breathing when Kylo goes to the bathroom?
No, he just maintains eye contact with me the entire time.
Do you stop breathing?
No.
So I don't understand.
So what it is that he can't smell anymore, Drew.
Yeah.
No, you get in my backyard.
You got COVID.
I mean,
nose.
listen. It's a 6 foot. Listen, it's a 6 foot leash,
dude.
He's 6 feet away from me. His poop doesn't smell that bad, and Drew, you see my woods area. I have enough fresh air. I don't have to worry about the confined space of his poop.
So what are you saying? He doesn't go and pick it up?
It is his woods area.
No. Listen, my grass is really coming in, and
well, yeah, it's fertilized because you just
can't
leave
use
it
that
there.
as fertilizer. No.
listen, anything is fertilizer if you're brave enough.
Oh, that's where I'm going to drop the music bed and transition to our episode talk. This week, we watched Lift Us Up Where Suffering Cannot Reach, a plot twist-filled episode with no shortage of action, romance, and tragedy. Pike and the crew of the Enterprise head over to the Magellan system, where they find a shuttle being attacked. The crew quickly takes out the ship, technically by accident, but, you know, who's really counting? And they beam aboard the occupants. Upon their arrival, we meet Minister Alora, a young boy who is called First Servant, and his father, Elder Gamal. Turns out 10 years ago, Pike had a fling with one of their expected guests. Not Gamal, or the First Servant, though.
Yeah, you don't know that.
Well, I mean, it was implied.
So Pike was really like tripping over himself with Allura coming in there. He even forgot number one's first name even.
Yeah, that was a little heavy-handed. I was not expecting that sort of behavior out of somebody who seems so sure of himself most of the time.
That kind of fell a little bit out of Pike's character.
Yeah.
I think it was just written in for some comical humor over anything else.
100%. But, I mean, I think it worked for the most part. You know, it established Pike as somebody who is very human. You know, it's a very relatable feeling to kind of...
It did set the tone for the relationship in the beginning of the episode.
It did. GD, any thoughts on Pike's former / current /
Love interest.
I don't know where I was going with that. Love interest. I was going to say love interest, but I was looking for something after the /
Honestly, it's about time. You know, it really is about time. This many episodes into the original series, didn't Kirk have a couple of flings?
Kirk had like a fling every other episode, but if you're using the captain having flings as any sort of a barometer for quality of Star Trek, you're gonna be real disappointed when you get to Next Generation.
I mean, no spoilers, but I mean, Jean-Luc Picard just exudes sexiness.
He also exudes don't touch me.
Discipline. He exudes discipline.
Discipline's a good way to put it.
So then what about Riker in his low-cut V's?
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. Riker's a...
Yeah. Go ahead, Brad.
No, I was just going to say Riker's a dog.
Riker is going to be the... Riker's the man. Let's just leave it at that. Everybody on that ship has had a little bit of Riker.
Ugh. I don't like that. I don't like the way you said that. I'll get over it,
man.
I'll get over it. No, I listen. I thought it was adorable that Pike was falling over himself because you know, he was obviously younger, right? He was a lieutenant back then.
Yeah,
lieutenant.
Yeah, so he was a little younger, a little more. It's maybe puppy love. So,
I want to know more about Pike as a lieutenant. You know, I want to know more about that mission.
We need a full-on new series that's set 10 years prior.
I would be on board.
I didn't get a chance to look it up. Has this character of what's her name? Allura?
Allura.
I was right. Allura.
I don't think she's ever shown up before.
No.
Whoa! Don't assume that was gonna be my question, Brett.
Okay, what was your question?
Literally that, but don't assume that it was gonna be my question. Listen, I'll give you. Listen, that's a demerit.
Wow, I feel like that was like a real easy demerit for this time. Like that was just like not even me trying.
It was you trying. It was you trying to step on my toes and thinking that you know me so well, bruh. But no, totally. You're right. I didn't look it up. I didn't see if she had been a character before because I know that. Oh my God, what is her name? Spock's.
T'Pring.
T'Pring. She's great, by the way.
Yes.
Anywho, sorry about that. To answer your question, I thought it was cute. Thought it was adorable, and I hope to see more of Allura because guess what? It ain't over. It ain't over. It has to be a part 2 about this. It's not like time travel. I gotta do it again.
You know what? I don't think there does have to be a part 2, but we'll get there.
Sure.
In any case, Allura explains the first servant's ascension to the throne is in 2 days, and she feels that the attackers were there to kidnap the boy and ask for ransom. She insists that no investigation is needed on their attackers, but Starfleet regulations require it. So, I can't believe you wrote this, Brad. So she is ship out of luck.
Hang on.
I don't think we can hear it, Majeed, but thank you.
I hear it.
All right, as long as it's on the recording. Discord is probably doing some sort of noise cancellation shenanigans.
Yeah. No, I love it. Listen, no. I love that, Brad. That's not a demerit. Matter of fact, you get one demerit removed. That was really good. Ship out of luck. God, that's actually that's actually
our
great.
friend Franks would be proud.
Did Franks write that?
No, I was like, you know what? That sounds like a Franks joke.
It does sound like a Franks joke.
That's 100% a Franks joke.
Right. The closer you are to becoming Franks is more apparent by every day.
Yeah. That's my goal.
Bravo, Brad.
We take a quick trip to sickbay, and we learn that the boy has quantum bio implants that are helping him recover. This later becomes a bit of a plot point for Mbenga, so hang in there with us, folks. Meanwhile, Singh and Uhura enter the crashed vessel looking for clues. Allura finds a coin that makes her believe that there's a traitor in the military trying to kidnap the first servant. At the Magellan capital, Allura confronts the guards, quickly identifying the traitor. I mean, this happened like that. Before any information can be gained, the man is killed after he attempts to take Allura hostage.
So I have a question about this part.
Yeah.
Like, she found the coin in the crashed ship, but then to identify the person, like, who's the traitor, she looks at all their coins, and the guy still has a coin. So wouldn't, like, technically he wouldn't have a coin if he was on that?
Well, not necessarily. So, obviously there were casualties from the ship. So, others could have gotten away. And if you were on that ship, escaped, and you were injured, your coin could be damaged.
Well, but that's not the story they were telling, though. The coin that he lost looked like it had been intentionally marked to me, right?
Yeah.
So the housing for the coin that he was wearing was what was damaged.
Oh.
So he still had on, I guess, the same necklace.
Oh, okay, I got it.
But without the gem. So it's like if you had a diamond ring and you lost the diamond, but you still kept the ring, and just put a new diamond in it.
Well,
I got it.
That's another plot twist for me.
Mm.
Does it count as a plot twist?
No. Yeah,
Whatever,
I guess. I guess it can. If it makes you happy, yes.
It does.
Back on the Enterprise, Singh interrupts our long-awaited Sam Kirk cameo.
It's number 2, folks.
Kirk watch.
To disappointingly bring Uhura a pile of data chips that she liberated from the crash site. Singh asks Uhura to review the information off the records, and we never see Sam Kirk again.
Sam Kirk had to go back to sick bay because his concussion protocol hadn't cleared.
He had to go back into coma.
Right.
I am so disappointed that we have not seen more of Sam Kirk. I really felt like they had an opportunity to lean into something really special with him.
I thought it was like this whole big reveal where it's like, oh my gosh, Sam Kirk, and he's like going to be a part of the crew. No, he's just like there once or twice.
I wonder if he's a late cast addition, and they had already written the episodes, and they just kind of added him last minute.
Actually, I think this was like his 3rd appearance, wasn't it?
Yeah, he was in the pilot briefly, he got murdered in the second episode. And then it was the second episode, right?
Yeah, it was the second one.
And then we haven't seen him since until this one. So, go Sam Kirk.
She was like, he got murdered in the second one. Oh, it's so
we'll just
funny.
leave it that way. That's even better.
Oh, that is so funny to me.
I know what I said.
I know, and I love you for it because it's great.
Back in sickbay, Mbenga looks to gain more information on the quantum bio implants from Gamal. It's a clear attempt to find a cure for his daughter. Again, more plot points. All right, I'm going to have to speed this part up a little bit because it gets a little crazy, guys, so bear with me, all right? Pike gets called back to the Enterprise after he had a real good time with Uhura. Uhura starts to explain that she found evidence of the kidnapping plot, but Gamal takes the boy and attempts to beam him down to the planet. But then a ship beams him away. But then Gamal gets beamed back without the boy. Then the mysterious ship attempts to leave, but because the Enterprise tractor beam grabbed onto him, it then blows up, killing the kid, only to find him hidden in some sort of storage pod.
Whoa! Where'd that come from? You've never showed that kind of energy before.
It was in the script.
Oh, I should read those.
You know, it would be beneficial if you guys actually read the shit I wrote.
I wrote it. I read it last night.
I read it while
I made
talking.
edits. I made edits.
Appreciate it.
Well, I mean, I read it when I have to be the Brad for the evening.
Oh, God. Sure thing, legally, Majeed.
Sorry, organically, Drew. Let's go back to your synopsis.
They bring the kid back to the planet for his ascension, and everyone is happy. But it turns out the ascension is just code for hook him up to the Matrix.
Oh, God.
Pike tries to fight against Alara, but fails. It is then revealed that Gamal was actually trying to help his son, but, well, he failed too. The only person who is somewhat of a winner in this episode, though, is Mbenga, who, with Gamal's help, starts to work towards a possible cure for his daughter. To sum up this episode, Sam Kirk didn't get stunned or murdered. No one really wins, and probably got whiplash from all these plot twists. We had an A plot, a B plot, a C plot, and then arguably a bunch of little plots kind of sprinkled in between.
Yeah, it kind of like it caught my interest, but it was all over the place. Mm-hmm. We had Uhura partaking in some sort of security training,
which we didn't even really discuss much in the synopsis, but that's like a whole story in of itself.
Yep. And then you have like the Mbenga story arc where he's interested in finding the cure for his daughter. Then you have the Allura story arc. Then you have the first servant story arc. There's like all these different plot threads that somehow mesh well enough to become an episode.
It's a good way to put it. Any overall thoughts on this one, Majeed, before we start breaking it down?
With every episode that Mbenga is in, he solidifies himself as being my favorite character. I'm not sure what it is. Again, he's not getting much. This one, he actually got a lot. But because he's strongly becoming my favorite character, aside from Pike and Spock and Singh and Uhura. God, like the whole cast is really good.
Yeah.
Still not sold on Ortega's, but we'll get to that at a different time. Mbenga, this is not his first show. Like, the character. He serves under Kirk, right?
So, my understanding of the character is he's in, I believe, 2 episodes of the original series. Only 2. Yes. He does serve under Kirk. He's the ranking medical officer behind Leonard McCoy. So when McCoy's not there, Mbenga is the doctor on duty. apparently. And we don't really see him until, let's see here. So the first episode is A Private Little War. That's in season 2. We see him in season 2, and then we see him once in season 2 and once in season 3, and that's it. They took a character with like a very small thread, and they've given him a huge story. Now I'm kind of curious to see what he's like in the original series, what they had to work with to develop this character.
They also did the same thing with with Nurse Chapel. She was a pretty small-ish character.
Nurse Chapel was more significant than Mbenga, but absolutely was a, I would say third billing on the crew, or on the cast rather. But she was in 25 episodes of the original series. She had an appearance in 2 of the movies. Looks like she was even in the animated series a few times too. So I think there's a little bit more for her to go off of. We know more about her coming into this. But to your point, like I think the actor that they chose to play this character, outstanding. I mean, he is just outstanding. And I don't know if you feel this way, Brad, but in a similar way that Pike has made his case for being favorite captain in Discovery, Mbenga is making his case for being my favorite doctor.
And he's not even a bartender.
He's not a bartender. This guy has better bedside manner than any of the doctors in Star Trek that I could think of.
Nurse Chapel's pretty good too, though. Well, I guess doesn't count as a doctor.
Yeah, but I would put it in the same category, sure.
So I definitely agree that Mbenga has like probably one of the better bedside manners, but unfortunately, my heart goes out to Robert Picardo for the Doctor.
I mean, he is wonderful. Let's be completely honest.
So again, Franks may not know who he is, and other listeners may not know who he is. So you want to go ahead and expound upon that?
That's a good point, Majeed. A lot of our listeners may not be fully aware of the Doctor from Star Trek Voyager. He did make a few appearances in First Contact. I think that was the. Oh no, I think he maybe made another appearance in one of this. He was a hologram that was the ship's doctor for the entire series. And they kind of had to use him because he was a emergency medical hologram, and so they just kind of let him go. And he kind of had a really rough, maybe rough is a little bit understatement, a really rough bedside manner. Very abrasive. Didn't really care. Is like kind of, why are you bothering me? I just need to get you cured and out the door.
Yeah, because even McCoy has like a really bad bedside manner sometimes, right?
Oh, this guy totally puts McCoy to shame.
Yeah. Because he's a computer. He has no, point of reference.
We've met computers before that have emotions.
Star Trek has certainly done that, and I mean, it's arguable. Data was written to not have emotions in Next Generation, but I think there's an argument to be made that he does. He just doesn't recognize them.
He's also really good at gambling.
Yeah.
The character though definitely evolved, but he's probably my favorite Doctor of all of Star Trek. I mean, Mbenga is growing on me, but I think I also like Bashir a little bit better.
I'm Team Bashir for the most part. Yeah, me too. I love it when you do things like that because you have no idea what you're talking about.
No,
it's cute. It's cute.
No, I don't know what you're talking about. My good men, I don't know what you're talking about, my good men.
But we're still early on in the series, and I was really hoping this episode they would give him more screen time. I'm hoping whenever they finally do, they start to like work towards a cure for his daughter, and like I'm pretty certain that they'll probably get a cure before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because to me it's going to be one of those situations where if they don't, then she's going to either have to go away forever or she's going to die.
I'm starting to think that it's not going to end well.
Yeah, I'm thinking the same exact thing there, Brad.
I
Sorry,
think
Drew.
I'm thinking that he's got a lead on a cure. He's going to work on it with the information that he got in this episode, and I don't think it's going to end positively. I think
Right.
it's going to be. I think it's going to be a tragic story.
The silver lining will be that for anybody else who has the same disease that his daughter is suffering from, will have a cure in the future.
Right.
So
true.
we already know that Mbenga is the founder of what was that thing they put on the forehead, Drew, last week?
Oh, the cortical stimulants.
The
I guess they did use something like that in Enterprise too. So I was mistaken.
Yeah, so he's obviously important to the mythos in one way or another, and I think that when it comes to solving this disease going forward in the future, he's going to be the key part of that. But unfortunately, that means that he has to suffer loss. I hope that's not the case, because I may just go to my roof and scream into the night. But it's a possibility.
I mean, after this episode, it wouldn't surprise me if they did a very sad ending to that story arc.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the ascension for the first servant was unfortunate, very unfortunate.
Yeah. Basically, the other kid was a burned out battery.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not often that we see in Star Trek episodes where Starfleet loses, and they lost this one.
I don't think this was a loss.
Pike did not save the day. That kid died.
Pike didn't. Hang on, I'm gonna disagree with you, because Pike still has to operate within the confines of the Federation law. So he cannot. There's certain protocols, right? He can't interfere. He can't. This is how that planet operates. He's required to follow the law. This may not be the end of it. Like, he may, try to appeal, but he can't go against Federation law.
Yeah. So like, I understand what you're saying, Majeed, but from the way like I'm seeing it is that it's Star Trek couldn't do anything even outside of their normal parameters, because sometimes they bend the rules sometimes to help, and that's nothing new from looking at other episodes. They do that stuff all the time. This was a situation where they weren't able to win at all, even by trying to bend the rules. They failed. Not any of their fault or anything like that. They didn't. It's not that they didn't try to help out. It just, with the information that they had, they were not aware what that ascension meant or what it truly did.
Well, the other thing too is, like, we have to remember from a writer's perspective and a viewer's perspective that the Prime Directive is a convenient plot point, right? They rely on it when they want to. They use it as a way of either creating conflict or avoiding conflict, or whatever you want to say. At the end of the day, Pike wanted to save that child, and he didn't. He couldn't. And I think in that term, I think he lost. And it bothered him. Like, you could tell it bothered him in the same way it bothered him when last week, he lost the crew member, or in the Gorn attack, rather.
Yeah, 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago. Time has no meaning. I don't know what week it is.
Well, it's a man-made construct, but we're not going to get into that right now.
You sound like my wife.
I don't know how to respond to that.
She says stuff like that all the time. She's like, isn't it weird how we just created time? I'm like,
she's totally right, though. We did just create time.
She kind of is, yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway.
So just wait really quick, because again, not everyone will know. Prime Directive is the guiding principle that Starfleet prohibits its members from interfering with the natural development of alien civilizations.
Right. Now that's geared towards civilizations that don't have the ability to travel with warp speed yet.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's the main focus of it. So when they encountered in the first episode the species that had developed the warp bomb, they should not have been able to develop that if Starfleet had not had a huge war in their backyard, right?
Mm-hmm.
They basically influenced that culture's future. Or another example is, do you remember the first episode of Discovery when Philippa and Burnham are walking around on the desert planet? No?
No, I'm sorry.
Okay.
Listen.
No, that's okay. That's okay. I'm just
seasons 1 and 3 of Discovery are fuzzy to me.
Fair enough. But basically, any planet that doesn't already have interstellar travel, if the Federation were to visit them and try to offer them technology or information, or just make their presence known, that would be considered a violation of the Prime Directive. Let's pivot to talking about Uhura and Singh. We haven't discussed them at all yet.
Another good pairing, by the way, in the show. So I thought that the ultimate pairing was going to be Singh and number 1, but Uhura and Singh was a good pairing. I think just Singh she's just versatile as a character. So she's paired with Spock already, right? Like they've had storylines together.
Yeah, okay. She's every episode she's with somebody new. It seems.
Yeah,
Hemmer, I think was.
Hemmer was with Uhura.
Right.
Yeah, Hemmer was with Uhura.
And actually, Uhura had a good pairing with Ortega's too. They had a good back and forth when she was ribbing him about the.
I read an interview with the actress who played Uhura, and they were saying how it felt very eerie when she was like reading the scripts and everything like that, because it was as if like the writers were like reading her diary, because like it kind of like got a very similar mentality as to how she behaves, and like in how her mind processes things, just like the character.
Interesting.
And so to me, like that kind of means like the writers are like really understanding the actress and how they want to portray the character and further develop them and kind of connect with the actual actor. And I think that's kind of why we're getting such a good performance from the actress, is that it truly fits her personality style.
That's a good point.
That's good writing right there. That's really good writing.
Yeah.
If that's entirely the case, but we're also getting good acting from Singh. We're getting great acting from Pike.
The whole cast has been, I think they have great actors. The writing for the characters has been solid. And, just overall, like everything has been so believable. Like these actors feel believable in these roles immediately, which is not common in Star Trek.
Is it though? Hang on.
In Star Trek, though.
Every single character, Drew, even Kirk, for the 5 minutes he's been
Sam Kirk?
on the show. Yeah. Sam Kirk being on the show for 5 minutes.
I don't think that's a fair comparison, because no. That's not a fair comparison at all, because the character hasn't. I wasn't even considering him in this. I'm talking about main cast.
Okay.
That would be like me saying, "Oh, what about the helmsman?"
What about the helmsman?
Don't do that.
I'll demerit myself. It's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, I can't demerit myself. I have.
You have a demerit. I've given you a demerit.
Nah, you're not in control of demerits, sir. This is not a democracy. Oh my God, you have edit rights.
Yeah,
it's fine. It's fine.
You're right. It's not a democracy.
I'm sorry, sir. I'm so sorry, sir. Pardon me, sir.
You don't mess with the editor.
No, you don't mess with the editor. Not at all. I'm sorry, Drew.
I agree with you, Drew, on that. Like, I feel like the cast has done a much better job of finding their characters. I'm sure it helped with Pike and Spock. Like, they were pretty prominent in season 2. I mean, number 1, she came in for an episode or 2, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Not like nothing crazy. But like, I think that really helps with stack it onto as far as getting to know where they are at. But all the other ones that haven't, I think have been doing great. I mean, it's silly or maybe stupid, but like the transporter chief, like, I even like that guy. I almost get no lines from him.
Yeah.
But I like him. It reminds me so much of like Miles O'Brien.
Yeah, he seems pretty cool. I want to know more about him.
I'm sorry, Miles who?
TNG and Deep Space Nine.
Oh, okay. Yeah, if you can just put like a parentheses when you do that, just so I know, because my mind just it didn't go there. Like I know who Miles O'Brien is. I couldn't put 2 and 3 together real quick.
Do you though? Like, do you know who he is?
Legally, Brad, I don't have to answer that question.
Actually, Majeed, you do know who he is, because according to Lower Decks, he's the most important man in Starfleet.
Oh my God,
that's right. Yeah, I remember.
Oh my God, he has Boimler has a plate of him. Is that?
No, that's Tom Paris. Remember the statue at the end of one of the episodes?
No.
Oh, come on.
You know what that means?
I don't remember which episode, but I remember that one. Yeah.
You know what that means, Drew? Rewatch of Lower Decks.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah.
Although who has time these days?
So what
20 minutes.
this show was going to evolve into is, like, once we finish Stranger Worlds, we'll just start we'll watch from random Star Trek episodes, and we're just like, yeah, there you go, we're watching this episode today.
It's easy for me to watch Lower Decks because it's only 30 minutes, and I can do laundry or whatever, or play on my phone while it's in the background if I don't want to search for something. But sorry, Drew, I don't mean to derail you with talks of other shows. I love you. Please don't edit me out.
Please, editor and savior, do not touch Majeed's thoughts.
Editor and savior? It's editor in chief, bro.
I'm good with either.
One thing I wanted to talk about in this episode, what gave me pause and was a real moment, was the father, when asked if this was his son, his response was only genetically.
I think that was kind of to, like, prepare for the ascension, because from way it seemed is like they were far into the process of getting the child ready for the ascension.
Okay.
And I think that's to help detach him, which makes me actually kind of wonder, like, how often they do this ascension thing.
Well, if the other child was any indication, they'd probably get a year or 2 out of him before they got to change the batteries.
Well,
hang on. Let me. It's true. True. Oh, go, Brad, go.
Here, Majeed is losing it right now.
No, listen, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, well, if the planet's not working right, what do? They reboot the kid, they unplug him, plug him back in? Like, what's happening? What happens?
Oh, that's so messed up. See, like,
hit him on the head to get him working like the Fonz. Hey. Oh, gosh.
Wow, you really went there. That dark moment just became funny, didn't it?
You gotta find
Drew's
humor in things.
It's absolutely Drew's fault. If Drew
I'm a terrible person.
If Drew didn't give credence to my battery comment earlier, I wouldn't be on this tangent right now. It's Drew's fault.
But to that, like, I kind of feel like it would be a lot longer than just 2 years. Like, to me, the way they kind of portrayed it being like this great thing, transition to power, I don't know. I'm hoping like 5 years out of it, something like that. But
if they use 2 kids, you'll probably get 10 years out of it.
But it's still it's a pretty like the whole process is real messed up.
Yeah, it really is.
I don't remember what I was going with this conversation. Like we totally messed it up and derailed it.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Yep, I'm good.
I'll take the blame. But you know, I don't think. I think that originally, what the heck's his name? Gamal. I think Gamal was intended to be a red herring for the viewer. You know, he comes off. He says, "Oh yeah, I'm only his father biologically or genetically or whatever." And I think that was supposed to kind of throw us off as to where this was really going. So that when he kidnapped a kid later on, or it appeared that he did, we were like, oh no, that weirdo Gamal just stole the kid. What's he going to do? When in reality, he was distancing himself from the child emotionally so that when he did have to give him up to be a Duracell, it wasn't as painful.
Duracell.
No, it makes sense. It makes sense.
David Drew, you did that on purpose.
I did.
Oh goodness. I never suspected the father to be the bad guy. I always expected the mother. Like the
Laura?
Listen, yeah.
She's not the mother, is
She's
she?
not the mother. No.
I always expected Laura.
Yeah.
To be the culprit.
I think it's implied that she was part of it.
She absolutely was. She was a complicit party in this. Like she was. I mean, the whole planet is really.
No. I mean, like she was implied that she was also like trying to stop this.
Mm-hmm.
I don't even think. No, I never thought she was trying to stop it. I never did. But you know when they said Ascension,
really know.
Yeah, when they said Ascension, you know what I thought of? Again, Lower Decks, where they ascended to be. Drew, who's the character on Lower Decks, or what was the process in Lower Decks where they meditate for so long and then they
was that?
Oh yeah,
Fletcher.
No,
right,
there was like this guy with a cult or something.
Yeah, wasn't his name Fletcher? No, it wasn't Fletcher. But I know what you're talking about. Tendi was trying to like befriend him so that he can ascend, and then he actually ascends and he's like literally on fire and it's extreme.
Right, and it's in pain. That's exactly what I thought of when they said Ascension. I said, oh, okay, cool. So, you know, they're doing one of those. And nope, it was just dark. It was Lieutenant O'Connor. It was his Ascension.
Okay. Yeah, definitely wasn't what I was expecting. You know, I mean, I should have known. Because you know, this sort of thing is a fairly common sci-fi trope. You know, ascending isn't really it's just like the term ascension being kind of like a having more than one meaning. You know what I mean? Like you know, it's like ascending the throne, but also ascending to another plane of existence. So
I kind of felt the Ascension was going to be what it was.
Yeah.
Like, based upon how they kind of talked about it, and based upon like we got to make sure the child is prepared kind of thing. It kind of seemed like some sort of sacrifice type thing.
By the way, I went into this episode completely dark. I think, Drew, you sent me a trailer or something for it.
I might have. I don't remember.
Yeah, I went into this completely dark. I said, nope. I'm gonna Brad it up.
I don't remember if like what the trailer actually contained.
I guess I can always go back now.
Yeah,
and figure it out.
Yeah.
Who else did we have in this episode that is noteworthy to talk about? Right, so we had the A storyline, which was the Ascension and the kid as the MacGuffin. We had the B storyline, which was... would the B storyline be in Becca, or would the B storyline be Uhura and Singh?
I think they're kind of on the same level.
Equally? Okay. And then we also had Mbenga's kid. Listen, I would be so sad if Mbenga loses his kid.
Yeah.
But I get it, story, emotion, and all that.
I think the tragedy will make for a stronger character going forward.
Yeah, that's how you break a character.
Yeah,
like he will be wrecked, broken. There really is no way coming back from that.
Yeah.
By the way, speaking of coming back from that, Pike is openly talking about his future.
Yeah, he's been getting kind of loosey goosey with that. I wasn't expecting him to do that.
I was telling you guys yesterday that I hope this show breaks canon in some way. And what I mean is, we know in the menagerie, he ends up with the Telosians. What I want is to see something happen on that planet, on Talos, where Pike is fully restored, mind, body, and soul. Like it's not just an illusion. Like I want it to be real. Like he gets fully healed. I really hope that happens.
I don't.
Really?
I don't want that. I don't want them to break what they've already established, because otherwise this loses its meaning. The time that we're having with Pike is borrowed time. And I think it makes for a compelling story. But I also think finding out about like a character after knowing what their fate is kind of makes you appreciate the fate a little bit more.
Okay, so the icing on the cake for you, the epilogue, is the menagerie.
Yeah, to me, that's where his story ends.
Okay, what about you, Brad?
I'm kind of with Drew in this one. To me, it's Star Trek is filled with happy endings and areas where things work out in the end because they find some sort of cure or solution. But it's not always about that solution. To me, it's seeing his journey, accept his fate and learning to live with it.
We know it doesn't really end well for a certain amount of characters, right? We know that it doesn't end well for Spock, right? Technically.
What do you mean?
Spock is no longer in the original universe. Canonically, Spock died.
But other characters, Spock is not the first person to have died, and
I mean is
he was old.
Well, not. Yeah, what I mean is, so Spock was supposed to help fix the. Oh God, what race was that?
The Romulans.
The Romulans. He's supposed to help fix the Romulans' planet. Fails. And in that explosion, everyone in the original universe, the original timeline, think he's dead. But in actuality, he just failed.
He's in the Kelvin universe.
Right. So
but I don't think
that doesn't really end well for him.
But that doesn't matter.
Majeed, I think the problem is like there with all those understandings, those different paths, like it runs the risk of going away from like an actual legitimate story that has meaning and then kind of crossing this border of, I don't know, maybe like what, fan fiction, where it feels so far out there, just a random stretch, grasping for, hey, one more story, one more piece of information. And does it really add more to the character other than it's just like a story? I mean, we see all the time with other movies like the Batman stuff, where we'll just see another Batman movie and another one. And even in books, it happens all the time in books where you just keep going. Eventually you start getting to a point where it seems to rehash the same story. There's nothing new. It's the same old. And, so and so, fell
Diminishing
down, they get
returns.
hurt, and then it's never ending.
So
diminishing
as someone who feels that way, do you think that Picard season, his show, is fan fiction? Is that a story that needed to be told?
Kind of. Honestly, like the way it was told, the actual story arc for both seasons 1 and 2, I would have been okay if they never did tell it. It felt much more fan fiction than any type of Star Trek that I've seen in a long time.
But you could have done without it. Yeah,
I would have been perfectly happy if they never brought it back. I mean, when they first announced it, I was like, "Oh, that seems cool." Like, I love the character. I love Patrick Stewart. And when it finally came out, it just was like, "Okay, why am I watching this?"
It didn't do anything for the legacy of Jean-Luc Picard. Like the character that we saw in the show Picard was not Jean-Luc Picard. It was somebody else. I really believe that. And I know there's a lot of people that are arguing that, it was, 25, 35 years removed from the last episode of TNG. It changes the person. He's older. Nobody changes that much. I'm sorry. Nobody changes that much. It just doesn't work that way.
Yeah, which is probably why I'm not going to go into that show until I've at least watched some TNG.
It's not the same character. Full stop. I'm sorry. It may have the same name. It's not the same character. So I think Picard did some great things for the legacy of other characters. I was very happy with Seven for the most part.
Oh, so, having Jerry Ryan really reprise her role, I was very happy with that. And then even Riker and Troy when they came back, I loved Data, but
I didn't like him.
They killed him off already in the movie, and it just was all right. Cool. I felt that he had a good enough time in it. To me, it kind of
cheapened the death.
Yeah. It made the death feel a little bit less meaningful.
Yeah, I would agree.
All right. So, again, we started this by saying I would love, a fixed Pike, and I think the reason for that, I just want more time with Anson Mount.
But you have that time. Like
how many years, Drew?
10
in between.
You have 10 years.
He has 9 years left.
Okay, so I mean,
if they do a season a year, that's like 9 seasons.
Right. You have plenty of time with Pike.
Yeah. And even that, they don't even have to go a season a year.
Right.
We've got 6 episodes in. That could be just maybe 3 months worth of work.
Right.
Time jumps, when done right in shows, are fantastic storytelling.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I don't disagree. I just really hope they don't change it. They just be like, oh, sorry folks, all an illusion.
Right. It's unnecessary.
And then to me, that actually kind of does the opposite to me, where it kind of betrays me, because I have this impression of, this is the journey to that location. And when in fact that location never existed all along. It was all a lie.
Yeah. Imagine you've spent 30 years being invested in a story and a character, and then somebody is like, you know what? No, I don't like that. And it doesn't count. Cause that's what's happened. Like Brad and I have grown up with this.
Think about comic books, Majeed, when they do that type of stuff in the movies, where they pull a character and they just say, hey, you know what? We don't really need to do this type of background. I mean, the best example is what's the guy? Mandarin? That
was a racist. That was a really racist character.
Well, remember, they just completely destroyed the actual character itself, where it's just some British dude posing. And to me, I felt that was just don't even use the character.
Oh no, listen. I think we we're gonna bore Drew, but listen, I thought that twist was brilliant. I thought that was a good red herring. I because again, we made up for it later on down the road. With Hail to the King and Shang-Chi. So, Drew, I'm sorry. I know that.
You're good, man. Keep going. You do you. I'm fine.
But like to me, that just defeated the purpose. There was like, why do I even have this character? It doesn't make any sense. And I think that's kind of the same feeling that I have towards like with Pike. If they were to do something like that, it's just that it changes it a full direction.
Yeah. Yeah,
he can easily just be, reckless and suicidal until the day comes.
I'm totally fine with that. That sounds fun.
Ooh, Drew, you want to rephrase that?
What do you mean? Having
recklessness and suicide is fun.
No. You said suicidal, not suicide.
Okay,
it's
suicidal.
Different. It's a different term. Like let him do some crazy stuff, knowing that his
character.
Crew,
okay, all right.
Yeah. Why not? That sounds like a good time to me.
He's gonna parachute off the ship
into outer space.
Space.
I can do anything. YOLO.
On that note, I think we should probably go into the scores, gentlemen.
Yes, we should.
Totally.
We've gone off the rails here. Good conversation, though. I think we hit some nice topics.
So, like the overall story, I enjoyed. Like I have to say that there were so many plot twists where it just was kind of going back and forth. I felt that was a little bit much. They probably could have gone by with a lot less of the twists near the end of it. The ending, I wasn't a fan of, but I think the reason I wasn't a fan of it was because it was sad. Starfleet didn't win this time. They weren't able to save the kid, and they didn't pick the right side to back, which we've seen that before. But I think ultimately, thinking about this episode to how I would really grade it. If I would come across it, would I watch it? Yeah, I definitely would. I think I would probably give this episode a 7, a very solid 7. It's not one of my favorites, but it was something that held my attention, drew me in, and it was something that was fun to watch.
That's a pretty good way of putting it. You stole everything I was gonna say, like word for word.
Ditto.
All right, Majeed, you're up.
I like the episode because I got some more insight on Mbenga. His plight, what I think is going to be his character arc, right? We speculated on it. And hey, this was a Pike episode on the surface. How many times I've been asking for a Pike episode, right? Like give me some more Zaddy Pike. But I liked the episode. I did not love the episode, and especially not as much as the last two, right? The Gorn attack and the what I guess is the filler episode,
Freaky Friday.
The Freaky Friday episode with the shenanigans and hijinks. By the way, listen, what a turn! What a turn from fun, light episodes to we're gonna ruin you emotionally.
Yeah.
What a horrible turn. I'm gonna go with an 8 on this because it's still pretty solid. Got some really good performances. Got some really good pairings. Uhura is she's showing those linguistic skills.
Yeah. I'm kind of similar to Brad, I think. With this one, I like the episode. I thoroughly enjoyed the deep character development that we have with Mbenga, with Uhura and Lan's relationship, kind of establishing those characters. I liked seeing a little bit more of Pike's backstory, although I don't think that we went deep enough with that. It was really just kind of a passing thought in a way. Sad episode, obviously, so a little bit heartbreaking, but I'm okay with those episodes if they make you think and they make the characters kind of grow from it. I did find myself kind of wavering with my attention span on this one, though. It didn't hook me in the same way that Memento Mori did, or Spock Amok even did. So I'm going to go a little bit lower than Brad. I'm going to go with a 6.
Oh wow,
That
kind of surprised me.
I would leave it on, but I might not be 100% invested in it. But that being said, I do think it was a good episode. I think it was a necessary episode. Just, I think for my enjoyment, probably not my... See, now I'm thinking about Ghosts of Illyria. I didn't like that one that much.
Really?
What'd you give that one?
6.5.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember ever you going that low.
Well, that was my lowest until this. I'm gonna go with a 7 on this one. I think a 7 is more appropriate.
You're the odd man out, Brad. Wait, no. Hang on. I said
You're the
I
odd
said
man out.
7.
Damn it.
All right. So next week, we once again have no idea what the episode title is. Has not been announced yet, but I'm sure it's going to be a fun episode. I'm sure it's going to be lighthearted and not have any serious repercussions whatsoever.
Supposedly, the name is The Serene Squall.
The Serene Squall. Okay.
Oh, God, that's such a fun word. Oh, what a fun word to say. Squall! Sorry. Not sorry.
Is Majeed hosting next week? Because we're going to hear... No, it's Brad. Okay, thank God.
No. Is it?
Yeah, because I feel like it would just be an hour of you saying squall like a bird over and over again.
Yeah, I just picture, was it Finding Nemo? Mine?
Yeah.
Mine?
Yeah.
But
Or
that's
naked
supposedly the name of the episode from Wikipedia, because, we trust Wikipedia. That's always right.
Well, they've actually were pretty good this week, so.
I know. This mouthful of an episode name was correct.
Yeah.
I had a question for you guys. So far, in terms of captains, legacy captains, right? We've got recasts of, or even cast. We've had recast of Spock, Uhura, Pike, James Kirk, and who else we had? Scotty, and obviously everybody else. We haven't gotten recasts of anybody on Next Gen. If they had to do recasts of anybody on Next Gen and you had the say to cast whoever you wanted in those roles, for let's say you had to cast Picard and Riker all over again with actors today, who would you choose?
Well, I'd choose Tom Hardy for Picard.
Really?
That's a deep cut for that Brad just totally didn't get. That was for you, Brad. Tom Hardy played the clone of Picard in Nemesis.
Oh, that's right. I remember that.
Yeah.
Oh, as Drew hangs his head in sorrow.
That was a bad joke.
Dude, Nemesis was a bad movie.
It really was a bad movie. It really was.
I think the only one I really enjoyed was First Contact.
All right, so you say Tom Hardy.
No, it was
Picard.
a joke. It was a
joke.
joke.
A joke? Oh, okay.
It was a joke.
I thought you had this one locked in a chamber ready to go.
No, I don't have this locked. It's not something I've actually really thought about. I'd have to give it some serious thought.
Listen, reboots happen all the time, bud.
I'll be honest. I'm going to be very truthful. I don't want them to keep recasting people. Like, I want new stories.
There's
like
so much to tell.
So like the one idea that I've always had would be like just like an Outer Limits style thing where each episode is its own self-contained story and has different casts, and they tell points of Star Trek history. They go through and like the whole start of the Klingon War, like that could have been just like one episode. That they didn't have to do an entire season for Discovery for it, or start like a tell about the origin of the Borg or something like that. Like, I mean, I'm tired. I enjoy Pike, and I can tell you
the origin of the Borg.
I am going to smack the crap out of you.
Hang on, Drew, are you interested in hearing this?
I'm afraid, but go on.
It was a corrupted Windows update. You're welcome. Good night, folks.
Hey, remember, let's just mute his microphone and keep talking.
Listen, Franks would at least appreciate it.
And so what I was saying is that I'm tired of just like the reboots and the recasting. I'm accepting Spock, but having Pike, to me it's very fresh. Uhura, the actress, based upon rewatching the original series, you know what? I'm okay with that. Getting like an actual more history behind the character, things like that. That's what I'm interested in more, is like new stories about new characters, new areas, things we haven't talked about. They have such a wide universe that they don't really have to do anything crazy.
Yeah.
And honestly, Drew, I think I would have liked it if they just stayed in that whatever time period that we last left them. And was it Voyager was the most recent?
Yeah.
Like if they just continued from there instead of jumping back and forth in time. Yeah. And we have Enterprise, which jumped way back, and then we have Discovery, which jumped us to this point.
Way forward.
Well, Discovery started before, Strange New Worlds, and then jumped way into the future. Yeah, they jumped so far into the future that I'm not buying any of it.
So like I think that's the point. Is like just pick a timeline and do continuous. Like if you want to jump around, I mean that's fine, but don't make that being like your main gimmick. Because
right,
I mean we're talking about science fiction stuff. Like everything else is already there.
It's akin to what Star Wars is doing with the Skywalker family.
Oh, the Obi-Wan stuff?
Well, just everything revolves around the Skywalkers. Star Wars is such a vast world, universe, but all of the roads lead to Luke.
Yeah.
Oh my God. You're right. So, Mando didn't involve Luke. Can I say that without this is being a spoiler?
Yeah, that's fine. So Majeed, like, I know you were saying like you really enjoyed the Obi-Wan series. I can't get into it. To me, I'm feeling exhausted from the series. I couldn't even finish the book of Boba Fett. Book of
Boba Fett was horrible.
Okay.
I'm sorry. I did not like Book of Boba Fett. The best episode of Book of Boba Fett did not feature Boba Fett.
I sadly enough didn't even get to that episode. Yeah. I stopped watching. But listen, to the point though is I'm kind of exhausted with all that stuff. Like,
right.
Just tell us a new story from like a new character's perspective that we haven't heard of. Like, I know it's hard to build up like new characters, but you don't have to rely on like the givens, like the easy passes, like those. Yeah, those have already been done.
My dream, sorry, Drew. My dream series or movie for Star Wars would be Old Republic, like when the Jedi were in the height of its power. Old Republic.
Knights of the Old Republic, basically.
Yeah. There's so many stories that can be told in both universes, right? Star Trek has established a massive galaxy with thousands of different alien races that haven't even been discovered yet, right? There's entire quadrants of the galaxy that they haven't been to. And I shouldn't say that. They've been to the quadrants, but they haven't explored them, right? So why not dive into that further? Why does everything need to circle back to the Enterprise? It's because of dollars at the end of the day.
Right. It's branding.
They're trying to get the casual fans who frankly aren't going to watch anyway.
So I guess I know. So my next question was going to be, what does your dream Star Trek movie look like? And there it is. something that doesn't focus on
for a movie.
Or
I think for a movie, a movie, I want to see the characters that I've come to love on the big screen, but they have to earn it, right? Next Generation earned those movies, in my opinion. Deep Space Nine and Voyager earned movies that they never got, and even Enterprise, like they would have earned it.
Like
but
the best movie would have been the Voyager actually getting home. For them, because like they could have just ended the series without them getting home, and then they got home in the movie.
Right.
I'm sorry. Did Voyager not get back home like Sliders?
They got back home at the very end, but it was all through a cop out of time travel and future technology.
It was
a hot mess.
Yeah. But in any case, like, there's so many stories that could be told that don't involve characters that we know. So take the time to write the characters instead of being lazy and just using the existing stories and existing characters and recasting. That's all.
Yeah. Well, just one last question and we can wrap it up. Promise. Brad, would you be upset if James McAvoy took over the role of Picard?
I could care less.
Jesus. He missed that. He missed that one as well. James McAvoy took over the role.
Yes, he plays Professor X. I'm not that. But I swear, man, like, to me, it's, again, it boils back down to what we're saying is I'm okay with them not continuing the story of Picard. He's already an iconic character. You know what? I'd rather not see a full 7 season of McAvoy in that. rather just get on with it. Different story.
Okay.
So, I think that officially brings us to the end of this episode.
Unless, no, I'm joking.
Brad's gonna murder us.
He has to catch me first.
So, folks, I want to thank everybody for tuning in to this episode of yet another Star Trek podcast. We hope you'll join us next week for the Serene Squall. And let us know on social media, too, what you guys think about not only Strange New Worlds thus far, but, what would you like to see in Star Trek? Do you agree with our points on this discussion, or are we off base here? Let us know. Hit us up on our social media. All the information for that will be in the credits coming right up. So we'll see you next time, folks. Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Take care.
Hey, folks. Thanks for listening to yet another Star Trek podcast. We're a part of the Retro Sessions Network. This episode was recorded on June 10th, 2022 by Brad, Drew, and Majeed. I edited this episode, and Brad wrote the synopsis, and Majeed, he took care of the artwork, and this week that involved taking a lot of text and cramming it into a very small box. I still don't know how he's done it yet. Special thanks go to two very important people to the show. William Grubbelar Music, he wrote the song Warp Speed, and he also wrote To the Stars, which we use throughout the show. You can find him on SoundCloud. And we also want to thank George Rattau for drawing up the awesome artwork of us as Lower Decks characters. So, we have a link for his Fiverr on our show notes as well. Would you like to chat with us? Come on by our TikTok, Instagram, or Twitter page at yetanotherstpod. Shoot us an email, yetanotherstpod@gmail.com, or swing on by our website, www.yetanotherstpod.com. We also have a Discord room. There's links for that in the show notes, so come on by and say hello. If you'd like to support the show, we would really appreciate a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your podcasts. It helps support us for free, and that's pretty cool because everything costs money these days, especially gasoline. Thanks again, folks. We'll see you next week.